In today's video, we're going to be talking about balancing the hormones. A lot of people don't know that certain lifestyle factors, the way that we eat, and taking herbs can all help to regulate and balance our hormones. And that's what you want, because when they're imbalanced, you can have issues like fertility, PCOS, and a lot of what we see in today's environment when it comes to the woman's reproductive system is based on hormones. We get so many different hormones and chemicals leaching through our foods. And so these herbs really can help and assist us in getting our body back into the equilibrium. So first, I always start off with, you want to have the knowledge first. Don't just go to herbs, but you want to know what's going on. And so in this case, it's important to learn about the hormones, what estrogen does for the body and the effects that it has, what progesterone does. And we're talking specifically about the woman's reproductive system today. The book that I have is called Dr. John Lee's Hormone Balance Made Simple, the essential how-to guide to symptoms, dosage, timing, and more. And of course, I'm going to have links to all the things that I mentioned, as always, down below. So some of the things in this book entail, let me just go through the table of contents. And he has a whole series of books, one specifically on breast cancer as well. So he has the hormone basics, his 3 rules for hormone replacement therapy, the hormone balance test, tracking and interpreting your symptoms, testing your hormone levels, getting off of conventional HRTs and onto natural hormones, how and when to use estrogen, how and when to use testosterone, and the ABCs of progesterone, and also how to use a progesterone cream, and other causes of hormone imbalance. So let's see. I have a page here, and this is a table that he has, how estrogen and progesterone balance each other. And so having all of the different hormones are needed in our bodies. And so if you have an imbalance of estrogen, some of the things that he lists, some of the effects of estrogen can be salt and fluid retention. And progesterone acts as a natural diuretic. So when you have too much estrogen, then that is when you can have edema. You can also have depression, but also progesterone, high levels of progesterone can lead to depression as well. So you can have migraines, poor sleep patterns. It can interfere with the thyroid hormone, blood sugar control, and it can increase your risk of blood clots. Some of what I do love about this book is that it does talk about some of the symptoms, and so you can really understand based on the level of estrogen or the test that he has in here, you can understand why you're having these other symptoms. And so with food and with herbs, you can naturally help to balance or to promote the stimulation of some hormones. So first, we're going to talk about estrogen. So estrogen, usually a lot of people have estrogen dominance more than they have progesterone dominance. And that's because there's different chemicals and stuff in our foods, as well as in our hygiene products and things that we put on our skin every day. There are things called parabens that actually mimic estrogen in the body. And so that was one of the first chemicals that I made sure that I stayed away from. And there are parabens that are in food as well. And found in things like deodorants or anything as a natural, it's a preservative. So the parabens are used in so many different products. And so it's really common that people have high levels of estrogen also from plastics and things like that. So a lot of the foods that we already eat actually do have phytoestrogens, as they're called. And the phytoestrogens, some people do kind of debate about how they work in the body. But I lean more towards that the estrogen from the plants, it basically can help to, if you have high estrogen, it can help to balance it. And if you have low estrogen, it can help by stimulating the estrogen production. And so either way, the plants just naturally kind of know how to work in the body. And if it's not needed, it's easier for our body to get rid of as opposed to some other chemicals. So things like beans, peas, those have estrogen. And there's a lot of medicinal plants that are in those families. And so those do tend to also have the estrogens. So things like rooibos, honeybush, when we're talking about our African plants, you'll find that many of them are from the bean family. Another one that is of origin of Africa as well is clover. Red clover is usually used for things like menopause symptoms, and one of the effects of estrogen is that it can help with night sweats. So when people are having menopause, it's because of that estrogen that they lost. The estrogen production from the uterus actually stops during menopause, and so that's why they're having those problems. Another one that's commonly used for that is sage, and that is because sage has phytoestrogen as well. Things like thyme. Many of our culinary herbs have phytoestrogens. So if you're looking for more information on the food sources that have those things, I have a link down below as well. But yes, things like red clover and sage are used in this manner for problems with estrogen, having low levels of estrogen. And then for progesterone, there are similar remedies as well, some culinary herbs as well. Some are used on both sides for estrogen and progesterone. But some more popular ones for progesterone are chaste berry. This is also known as Vitex. That's used a lot of times. And also wild yam. And so these can help. Wild yam specifically really helps to kind of stimulate the body's own production of progesterone. It's important that you don't use remedies like a chaste tree berry at certain parts of your cycle as well. When your levels of progesterone are higher, it can also, basically you want estrogen during the beginning of the cycle, progesterone during the end. So you want to make sure you're getting the hormones at the right time as well. So that's why it's really important to read and kind of study, so you can understand then how to choose the right remedies for what you're looking for. So I hope that this video was helpful for you all. If you made it to the end, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.